Can you hear me, Anand?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Oh, no, it was better. I can hear the whole thing you said. Oh, yeah, no, I kind of got that because, yeah, if you were in the college, your network would be better. I remember that. That's all right. That's all right. Okay, so let's give the others a few minutes. Until then, you had some questions. We can actually use this time until others join the call. Like we can actually use this time to go over your changes. Oh, gotcha. Okay, no problem. That's all right. No problem. Understandable. But did you understand what I actually said earlier, which is on your local, you can actually all you have to do is go and follow the instructions for installing Go Releaser. And once you have Go Releaser installed, I gave you a command. You just have to run that, and what that'll do is it'll actually do the same thing which is happening on the GitHub, which is it'll build the binaries for the different operating systems and architectures. It'll put them in zip for each of the the combinations, and all you'll have to do is open one up and then test it out. That's how you actually test it. Yeah, it's as simple as that. So it's not complicated. It'll take you like a few minutes, but yeah, so you'll have to use the go releaser command on your local to actually build the artifacts. And yeah, so let me know if you have any issues, and I can definitely walk you through it. Awesome, awesome, Anand. Do you know if the other folks will be joining the call today, like Shubham, Nikhil, and all the other guys? All right, okay. So let's give them a few more minutes. In the meantime, do you want to say something? I know you have a bad connection. I understand that as well. All right. If you don't have anything to say, that's all right. Hey, Jill. This is the first time I'm seeing you on this call. How are you? Gotcha. No problem, Anand. Oh, there you go. Pavan is here. Hey, Pavan, can you hear me?
Hey, Giri. Yeah, I
Hey,
can
how
hear
are
you.
you?
Good, good. How are you?
Awesome. Hey, not too bad, dude. All right. Um, we're just waiting for the others to join.
Oh,
But
okay.
but while we are joining, I have started recording. So what we can probably do is now that we have time now. Pawan, do you want to actually take the ball and do a presentation of what you wanted to do, which is the EKS compatibility with Meshri?
Okay. I mean, yeah, well, let me start. But before that, I'll just give heads up that probably there will be a network connectivity.
No problem. No,
I have a poor network connectivity over here, so
that's okay.
probably it get disconnect frequently. So just let me share the screen.
No problem. So before you share the screen, I just wanted to say we have very little general topics. One is that Lee will be joining the call a bit later. He is held up in a different meeting. The other thing is that I'm not sure. I think Lee might have already mentioned this. So we are working on an adapter for Citrix CPX. There is a new repo that's been created. So we have reached out to the Citrix folks, and they have committed to working on the adapter. It looks like some of the folks are on vacation, so hopefully in the next following weeks we'll have better traction from them. The other one is we actually made some changes to the SMI compatibility, SMI compliance tool or SMI compliance documentation. We added some steps since the SMI metrics is in a better stage. We kind of try to improve the documentation there and shared it with the SMI folks, and it seems to be well received there. So that's the other update. And now another general thing is that we, which is Lee, me, and Pavan, had a late night session yesterday, and we were able to kind of so Pavan has his EKS environment, and we kind of work together to get the whole thing working, which is Meshery can now actually talk to EKS using a service account on EKS, and Pavan was able to test this whole thing successfully last night. So yeah, this is going to be great. So Pavan is actually now here to actually show that to us, and let's see what he has to show. Pavan, you can grab the ball and share your awesome experience with EKS.
Um, okay. Let us. Um,
So while Pavan is waiting to bring his environment up, do anybody else have something to say? Hey Fanji, hey, nice to see you. While Pavan is bringing his environment up, does anybody else have anything to say? I'm seeing Fanji today. Hey Fanji, hey, nice to have you back.
oh, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, fine. Okay, just before going to the EKS, I just want to see the architecture over here. See, we have a Docker Kubernetes where our mystery is running, and we have a platform where we have whatever the adapters used to be running in Kubernetes environment. So here in this platform, as of today, is we are discussing on EKS. So we have an servers masters over there, high availability masters in Ohio. Um, Amazon has data centers in Ohio. So as of today, I'm taking East 2, which is Ohio. We have running EKS and as well as workers nodes over there in this platform. And for this mystery, I took another node in the same East 2 and in the Cloud9 where I started installing as my environment desktop, I would say. So it's kind of I installed Docker and as well as Mesh in that, and it's working perfectly well. And yesterday night with the help of Girish and Lee, we connected these two environments and so it successfully started. Let me go into the EKS. This is my EKS environment. So if I go to the EKS, so as earlier we have an in Amazon, if you want to install Kubernetes, you have to use the third-party tools for installation of Kubernetes in high availability. But recently, from past 6 months, we have an we got an EKS, and so EKS will make us the life so easy by creating of masters on high availability by itself according to our uh, uh, load on the cluster. So I have created the EKS, and once the EKS is created, I use CloudFormation for creation of EKS masters, and the same way I use the EKS worker nodes. I took 4 worker nodes as for this job. So just for safe side to be on high utilization now from 3 reasons with each or T3, I believe. They are T3, T3 medium worker nodes. So these are the 3 worker nodes which we have Kubernetes running, and well, let me go into my environment and like, so if I see kubectl get nodes, yeah, I have all these three nodes, and I have a few applications which I just installed in the Kubernetes of EKS. So if I go to the EKS, let me connect to. Okay. Stay. Account in EKS. So where mesh is compatible with like EKS. So it's like if we go here and if I want to install a sample application like Bootcamp Info, earlier like I used to get an op when it starts taking the, but like it won't install the application in EKS. So after service account create, like we have where is that? Yeah. I guess where after the service account has been created, like we got an uh, it like the command started taking and cube system it's supposed to be installed over here. Okay, let me let me add one more time. Questions executing. Supposed to work, but like I'm not sure. Like, just give me a second.
It's probably a demo effect.
It should. Today morning, I even deleted those, like whatever we created yesterday's night. Like I deleted the sample book information app from here itself. I didn't log into the EKS and delete that. Like let me try it again.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
Keep saying that.
Okay, I think we are created.
Are you able to see the EKS admin?
Yeah, EKS admin is over there.
Okay.
So which we created like the late night yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, okay.
Can you do a kubectl get PO just to ensure that your default namespace does not have any conflicting stuff there.
But I don't care either way.
So does it already have the book info app? Yeah, it looks like the book info app is already there. So I can see the product page, I can see the ratings, I can see the details, and the reviews 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So the book info app was deployed actually. But was that like yesterday? Was it like 13 hours back? Okay. Pavan, like, can you click on that? Can you click on the X in that operation executing? Sometimes that's just, it just stays there for some time. Or did we lose you? Maybe we did. Okay. Oh, there you go.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's got deleted now. Sorry, I thought like in the morning, like I deleted that book info app. Let me add this again. Like.
Gotcha. Pavan, we're not able to see your screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think there was a network disconnect, and yeah, since then, like we didn't see a screen. So yeah, if you would
Oh, sorry.
share your screen again.
Oh.
Excellent.
Okay, I just click on the sample application and booking for application over here.
Cool.
And like, I don't have any error messages
Oh,
right now.
nice.
So earlier, like the problem was like the booking was already installed in the EKS, and I thought that I deleted it, but like I didn't do that. When I re-add those, it's already the application was present, so that's why I didn't add. Now it's like I just deleted using just went to the button and deleted over here, and then again I recreated. So it's like it's successfully added. If I go to my environment. If I see the part, like yeah, like it has been created just that 1 minute back, which is 63 seconds. So it's like from memory we can able to add the booking for application and all the applications which we have in Mesri. Yeah.
Excellent.
So both are connected. Both are connected.
That's fantastic, dude. Like, this is great actually. And I'm not sure, like, if many people know, like, every time, like, we give a workshop, this has always been a question. People always come back and ask us, hey, I'm trying out on EKS. Does it work? And most of the time, like, we have to tell them, hey, unfortunately, I'm sorry, we don't have the instructions yet. And actually now, Pavan has actually proved that, Meshri can actually work with EKS. This is fantastic. And actually, Pavan, I'm going to say this. Pavan is actually going to be documenting the steps he followed yesterday to get the whole thing to work, so that, like, our docs section of the EKS will actually be much more complete. Like, and he's going to also, like, paste the output, and he's going to show us, like, pretty much everything. So in future, if anybody asks us if it'll work on EKS, we can proudly say yes, it will, and we can point them to the docs Pavan is going to be working on.
Okay, well, yeah, definitely I will complete the doc by today or by this weekend. Yeah.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, that'll be phenomenal. That'll be phenomenal. All right, like I mean, so we can move on to the next demo. But then before that, like if do any of you guys like have anything to talk? I see Harshini is on the call. Hey Harshini, hey, thanks for joining.
What are the expectations?
Hey, good morning.
Hey Harshini, hey, thanks a lot for joining. I know it's late for you in India, like with the Anand and the other folks who used to join from India. Unfortunately, they are not available today. Like Shubham did send me a message like that he's gone home for some kind of a chat puja. I've not heard that before, but he did tell me that too. That he told me that I might not have heard about it, and yes, he's right. But yeah, so that's the reason why he is not here in today's call. But yeah, anyways, so if anybody has anything to talk about, we can talk about it. Otherwise, before we actually go on, let me just a quick second. So I'm going to resume my presentation, resume presenting. All right, so if you guys can see my screen, the Meshery community meeting minutes. Here's a big list. So this week seemed to be an interesting week for actually all of us. We have a lot of open issues. So I mean, in the sense, we have a lot of new issues that were open this week. And if you can see my screen, I have put the link based on the repo, and the link is also clickable. It'll look like it's not, but if you just click on it, you will actually see that it will take you to the appropriate link in GitHub. So if you guys want to actually take a look at them, and also for all the other contributors who are interested in taking on new issues, this will be a good spot to actually see all the issues in one place. It's just easier to start working off of. So there are a few, and then the other interesting thing is you can actually see that the list of issues we closed this week is much bigger. Kudos to all the contributors, and thanks a lot once again, for all the contributions you guys are actually doing. It's phenomenal, so this is definitely making us or helping us move much faster. So yeah, so before we move on to the next topic, I just wanted to kind of shove some light on on the issues that are open and issues that are closed. So this is like a great achievement, folks like Anand, Ganjan, and then Nikhil, they have pretty much Sheikhs, all these guys have actually done some wonderful job, and many of the issues are actually part of their PRs, which is kind of amazing. Those guys have been pretty much crunching on our issues, which is great actually. So now that we have had a chance to kind of shed some light on the issues which were opened and closed, let's move on to our next demo. Now the next demo is a bit it's not yet complete, so we're still working on it. But the good thing is that we have made some progress. And this demo is actually the NSM adapter. Now kudos to Harshini, she has actually spent a lot of time on the adapter, and she has got the installation of NSM to work using Meshery, and also she has been working with me on on creating a good sample application which we can actually showcase for any decent demo. One thing I'm going to try to show it, but I think it's hitting a little bit of an issue. But we're going to work on improving it and making it better. And as you probably guys know that we are going to be presenting Meshery and the NSM adapter at NSMCon at San Diego. I think that's on the 18th of November, so which is in about 2 weeks. Me and Lee are going to be there, and I think Prem would also be there, and we are going to be presenting Meshery and the NSM adapter on stage. So that's definitely exciting. So what we are working on, me and Harshini are actually working towards getting the adapter working in a very precise and a good way. So let's go on to the demo. Enough talk. So if you are seeing my screen, I think I have Meshery running on my local. And you can see the 3 adapters that are connected. So if I go to this page, now there is one part which is still pending, which is the part of finishing up the UI for the NSM adapter. So unfortunately, you can see this 10004 port is actually an NSM adapter that's running on my local. But since it is, hold on. I'm really sorry. So I'm going to move this here so that people can see it. Guys, can you see my screen? I hope you guys can see my screen. But the interesting thing is I'm presenting, but I don't know which window I'm presenting, so just give me a second. Okay, so that's present now. Okay, a window, and I'm just going to pick just a second, guys, just a second. Bear with me for a second. Yeah, I kind of lost track of this window here. Okay, so I think I have to choose this window here. All right, so I think now the screen is being presented. The right screen is being presented. So I have NSM set up on my local, and this is Meshery. And here I'm actually connected to the NSM adapter. And if I click on plus, you can see the network service mesh, which is, we can install it using this option from here. And the same way you can actually remove it from here. One of the things we were doing recently is actually adding a few sample applications. Now, during the last week's call, Harshini, I think, was not here, or maybe either it was last week or the week before. I forgot. I'm sorry about that. We did showcase deploying NSM from Meshery, so that was a great achievement. Like Prem was there, and we had a good discussion around that. Now, in today's call, what we are going to do is we are going to be deploying a sample application. The sample application, like I said, it's not yet complete, because what happens is the deployment seems to happen, but then the application takes like a pretty long time to actually come up. So we added a few applications, the ICMP application, VPN, ICMP. All these are actually some of the default network service mesh sample applications that come as part of network service mesh. So the first thing we've done is we've tried to bring in the capability to deploy the default sample applications. And then the other thing was we are calling this a Hello NSM application. We didn't know what to better name it. So now all this application does is that it deploys two services on NSM, and what it does is we have two services. One we call it app A, and the other one is called app B. I don't know what better to call them again. So the way we would be testing it is we would be talking to app A, and app A will talk to app B. So now the communication between A and B will be on the network service mesh. So that's what we have done. It was an interesting application to actually develop. We initially got a work version that was functional, but then it wasn't really using NSM's capabilities. So we tweaked it a bit recently, and then now we have it working the right way. All the changes were merged to master, but then we are still working on some final tweaks in order to get the end-to-end piece working, so that we can actually showcase load testing from Meshery as well. So I'm going to hit this. I might have deployed it, and I'm not sure if it is still working. Let me just take a second here. Okay, right, gotcha. So I need to be on on a different network for this to work. So this is going to take a long time, and then it's going to fail. So let me see if I can actually connect to that other network. It's going to take a minute. All right, so you can see once I'm on the right network, it actually connected and it deployed, and voila. So the deployment seems to have gone successful. So I'm just going to ensure that it actually indeed works the way I expect it to. I think it is this machine here. I think it's going to take some time. Yeah, so you can see these were the two services I was referring to, app A and B, and they both are now deployed. It'll take a few minutes for them to actually come up completely, and I think my mission is probably starved on resource. So everything put together, the deployment works, but we are still working out some final tweaks for the whole bit to actually work the way we expect it to. So that's the demo I wanted to show, and I think the removal of the application also works. So this is all part of the ideas and code borrowed from the other adapters like Istio and Linkerd. So yeah, so eventually we would move them. We would move all the common pieces into a library so that every adapter doesn't have to re-implement the whole thing. So so that's pretty much the demo I had for today. Unfortunately, I couldn't show the end-to-end pieces connecting together in a much nicer way because the deployment itself is taking a bit of a time because I still have a little bit of a tweak to actually add there. But then that's pretty much the demo. And my screen is a bit squished because that's the section of the screen I'm recording. I didn't want the recording to actually occupy my entire screen, so I'm sorry if it looks weird. That's everything, guys. Let me actually move on to my meeting minutes. Meeting minutes, yes. All right. Right, meeting minutes. Awesome. Okay, so this is what I have. Before I actually move on to a different topic, Harshini, do you have anything to add there? I'm sorry, I would have let you demo, but then I had everything ready, because I wasn't sure if you would be joining the call. So which is the reason why I kind of before my environment starts crying for resources, I thought I'll just show it. But if you want to take the ball and show it in your environment, please feel free to. Or I mean, if you have anything more to add to this demo, please feel free to.
Yeah, that's okay. I was having the same setup, just that it takes time to deploy.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. After this call, we can probably sync up and see if we can improve it. I have some thoughts so but I need to spend a little more time. So probably if you're available after this call, we can connect and see if we can move faster.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Awesome, guys. Any other topics? Lee actually said he'll be joining a bit later today, but so if we don't have anything else to talk about, I'll say let's call it a day and let's sync up next week. Now one thing is, like I said earlier, the open issues. Actually, yeah, one of the things was that I again did a mistake. I should have actually moved this here because probably that was not being recorded. Awesome. So here we have a whole lot of issues that are open. Please feel free to take a moment and look at the the open issues and see if you can find some interesting ones and assign your name next to it. I mean, not here, but in the GitHub issues, so that way, once you are working on something, other people will not accidentally work on the same issue. So please, take a moment to look at all these open issues. And again, kudos to all the contributors, who have done a wonderful job to actually help us close, a whole lot of issues in the last week. We have you can see we have a ton of issues that were closed, and when compared to the number of issues that are closed, we have less number of open issues. This is definitely a progress. Which I mean, sorry, this is a good indicator for progress. So this is phenomenal. That's pretty much what I have to say. So and again, Meshri will be presented at NSMCon at San Diego. Meshri, along with the NSM adapter, will be presented at the NSMCon. Hopefully, Prem will be joining me and Lee there, and we'll be showcasing this on stage, to a whole lot of new people, and that's exciting. And actually, there is another thing that is mostly coming up. So there is a Istio plus Kubernetes CNCF. I think it's a CNCF meetup in Ottawa on November 5th. And I'm working out the details to see if we can present Meshery there. Yep. So that's another exciting thing. So even before NSMCon, we'll be presenting Meshery in a local meetup at Ottawa. So that'll be very exciting. Again, it'll be a new set of audience. We have presented Meshery to a Docker at a Docker meetup here, but not at a CNCF one. So I think this is like the first one. So it'll be very exciting. So that's pretty much all the updates I had. I know if Lee was here, he would have shared a little more updates. And with respect to the attendance, I hope I didn't miss any of you guys. So I recorded the names of all the folks I actually saw and heard from in the chat. Other than that, so these were the general topics which I already covered earlier in the call. And then we demoed two things today. One is the EKS compatibility of Meshery. And then the NSM sample app deployment, so we are calling it the Hello NSM app. Yeah, it cannot be a Hello World. It's a Hello NSM. Yes, deployment and removal from Meshery, and then again, a touch on the open issues and a whole lot of closed issues today. So closed issues this week. That's everything I have to share with you guys. Unless you guys have anything to add to this. Let's call it a day. Have a nice weekend, guys, and see you next week. I'm going to stop the recording, guys. Awesome. Yeah. Bye, Anand. See you next week.